Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? My name is Brandon. This is Scourge of Vinyl, and this is my top 40 albums of 2018. This video is going to be for numbers 30 to 21. A little bit of a different background today. I'm reorganizing my shelf. It actually was starting to crumble on me, so I took the whole thing apart, which is fine because it was full anyways, so I needed to get more shelves as is. So, without any other bullshit, let's get into this list. Before I do that, real quick, I want to remind you once again that this list is totally opinion based. It's my list. Create your own list. If there's something on here that you don't like, that's awesome. If there's something on here that you do like, even better. If there's not something on here that you do like that you think should be on here, let me know. All right. With that being said, talking about number 30, and we have Gruesome with Twisted Prayers. For those of you who have been living on a different fucking planet, Gruesome is essentially a tribute band to death, and Twisted Prayers is the spiritual healing album in terms of the albums that Gruesome is going through and made albums dedicated to. And I gotta say, this sounds exactly like spiritual healing era death. It's incredible how similar it sounds. And I think I read in an interview, or I watched an interview talking with Matt Harvey, and he said that he'll go back and listen to death songs and he'll pull apart riffs and he'll just kind of rearrange them so that way it's a death riff, it's a Chuck riff, but Gruesome style. And this has some amazing songs on it. Inhumane, A Waste of Life, Crusade of Brutality. James Murphy, the one and only, has a guest guitar solo, and then the title track, Twisted Prayers. This is nothing new. This is death. It's almost like a death cover band, but they do it so goddamn well. Even lyrically, all the lyrical themes are just as aware as spiritual healing. There's songs about the church, and there's songs about the death penalty, and it's just a very complete record, a very well thought out record, and a excellent tribute to death and spiritual healing. Coming in at number 29 is De Acquisitor with Downfall of the Apostates. This band is from Denmark. Denmark has been churning out incredible fucking death metal bands. And this is a non-stop banger from start to finish. Outside of the last like 2-ish minutes on the last track, War on the Gods, this thing doesn't stop. It doesn't let up. It's non-stop blasts, non-stop riffs. You don't get a reprieve. You don't get a break. It's just 100% at your throat at all times. And that's what I love about it. It is a fucking neck breaker of an album. The drums are just constantly fucking pummeling. The guitars are just churning away. Vocals just growling, deep, dark, sinister. Songs like the title track, Downfall of the Apostates, Faint, Distorted Images, and then Tetrad of Lunar Eclipses, those 3 songs in a row. Woo! And then the closing track, War on the Gods. Awesome way to close out this album. You have like a 2-minute kind of interlude where you can kind of catch your breath and think about and let it soak in what Downfall of the Apostates is all about. And this is a great fucking record, De Acquisitor. This was released by Night Shroud Records on vinyl. Dark Descent handled the CD, I believe. Great shit from De Acquisitor. If you're not familiar, get familiar. And then starting with number 28 on, we're going to have 8 black metal albums. I don't know why it happened that way, but they just all kind of got bunched together. There's some really great black metal records this year, and we're going to kick it off with Rune Spell, and this is called Order of Vengeance. This is a one-man black metal project from Australia, released through Iron Bonehead Productions. Last year, 2017's Unhallowed Blood Oath, I found out about at the very end of like December, and I fucking fell in love with that album. And then 2018, we have another Ruin Spell full length, and I think this is a fucking great album. It's not as good as Unhallowed Blood Oath in my opinion, but still fucking top notch. I love the atmosphere going on here, especially the song to kick things off, Retribution and Iron, and then you have songs like Claws of Fate, Wolf Axis, and then the closing track, Pray for Redemption, Redemption for Prey. This is a great, great album. There's a ton of great black metal coming out of Australia right now. Ruinspell is without a doubt a name to keep an eye out for. Just churning out material, 2 full lengths in 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised to hear more out of Ruinspell in 2019. I'm crossing my fingers for that at least. Number 27. This is Demonomancy with Poisoned Atonement. This is an Italian black death metal band. Elements of black metal, elements of death metal going on here. Released by Invictus Productions. This one I really think flew under the radar this year. This shit is so good. I first became aware of Demonomancy through their split they had with Finland's Witchcraft. And they even included the song that was on that split, Archaic Remnants of the Numinous, on this full-length album. Along with that track, you have songs like Fiery Herald Unbound, The Day of the Lord, The Last Hymn to Eschaton, and then the last track, Nefarious Spawn of Methodical Chaos. There's a lot of great shit happening on this album, but I think my favorite thing about it is the vocals, because they're not really your traditional black metal vocals, they're not really your traditional death metal vocals. I think they fall somewhere in between, which is a perfect fit for the music. Lots of kind of like chanting and shouting going on. There's even sort of like chorus type arrangements where lyrics will repeat themselves, and that I don't feel like that's super common in black metal, but I think it's the mark of a well-written song, and I think that these songs are about as catchy as it gets for a blackened death metal band. Demonomancy, Poisoned Atonement definitely flew under the radar. I haven't seen anyone talking about this album, so like all of these albums, I'm going to leave a link in the description if you're interested. Check it out. Demonomancy, Poisoned Atonement. And number 26 is an interesting album because it's an album that I normally wouldn't have included on a list like that. And this is Purity Renaissance. It's a self-titled LP released by Tour de Garde out of Canada. They are a Canadian black metal band. And this initially got released as like a promo / demo. I think there was only like 50 or 100 cassettes made, and it caught fire in the underground black metal scene. Tour de Garde picked it up to put out the LP version. It was remastered for vinyl. It sounds fucking great. And normally, if you watched my previous video for like my favorite splits and EPs and demos and shit of 2018, this is the kind of release that normally would have been on that list, but I felt like it was so good. It clocks in at like over half an hour. It's about 35 minutes, somewhere in there. So, is it technically a full length? I don't know, but it's so good that I just had to showcase it in my top 40 list. And it's Canadian black metal. It's really raw, but also super riffy. There's a lot of great guitar work going on, and you don't find that in a lot of the raw style of black metal bands. So this definitely keeps my attention. There's an intro, an outro, an interlude, lots of cool kind of ambient stuff going on. It's a really, really fun listen as far as black metal goes. I've listened to this thing countless amount of times. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a copy of this. It was up for pre-order on Tour de Garde. Probably sold out at this point, but it's on YouTube. Once again, I will leave a link for it. Check out Purity Renaissance. Amazing, amazing Canadian black metal. Number 25, and this might seem a little bit low for some people, but Moans of Zest with Ancient Spells of Darkness. Great album. I love it. It doesn't touch the demo as far as I'm concerned. I thought that their demo was just absolutely fucking incredible. This band is out of Belgium. I believe it's one, maybe both members of Perverted Ceremony. And I do like Perverted Ceremony a little bit more than Moans of Zest, hence, it's a little bit lower on this list. But you have songs like Into the Black Mist, Oath of Malignancy, Ancient Spells of Darkness, the title track, Obscured by Lunar Rites, which was a demo song tacked onto this full-length record. Aesthetically and musically, this band is a absolute throwback to the early days of black metal. A lot of Greek influence, definitely some very early Samael, some early Beharit. Um, you know, this is a band that has made a name for themselves. Certainly, Moans of Zest, released by Nuclear War Now Productions. A really, really great record. Coming in at number 25 on my top 40. Number 24. This is Verathron with Patriarchs of Evil. Speaking of Greek black metal, holy shit. This is one of Verathron's best albums. It might be their best album since Walpurgis Nacht, which came out in 1995, I think. Released by Agonia. This record is so fucking good. It was one of my favorite black metal records of the year. Especially like early on when it first came out, I listened to it a lot. Especially the first track, Tenebris, I love. There's so much great guitar in this. Riffs for fucking days, and I love it. I love it when a black metal record has super solid fucking riffs instead of just like tremolos and blasts, like I love that shit too, but when you have a black metal record like this that just fucking riffs, oh man, it hits the spot. Verathron from Greece, long-standing act. This album, Patriarchs of Evil, one of their best in a long, long time. Super excited to have this and very happy to show it to you on my best of list for 2018. Number 23. This is Wayfarer with World's Blood. Self-acclaimed black metal of the American West. And that is a title that is very fitting. This album tells the story of immigrants coming to this country, and it has like an 1800s, like late 1800s feel to it when people were first starting to inhabit the western United States. The opening track, Animal Crown, when the drums kick in, it sounds like a horse galloping, like tick-a-tat, 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 tick-a-tat. And then you have songs like On Horseback They Carried Thunder, The Crows Ahead Cry War, A Nation of Immigrants to close this out. This is very non-traditional black metal, but it's so fucking good. Isaac from Blood Incantation plays drums in this band. That's how I became privy to Wayfarer, also released by the outstanding label Profound Lore. So if you're looking for something a little bit different in your black metal, Wayfarer can only do it the way Wayfarer does it. I mean, American black metal doesn't really have a distinct sound, but Wayfarer just might have created it. It's that fucking good. I love that record. Number 23 on my list, Wayfarer with World's Blood. Number 22, Marduk with Victoria. I fucking love Marduk, pound for pound. Maybe my favorite black metal band, right up there with Dark Throne and Celtic Frost. This album and their last album, Frontschwein, are definitely leaning more towards the days of Panzer Division Marduk. It has that furious sound, the war themes going on, great song structures, great vocals, tracks like June 44, Equestrian Bloodlust, which is a fucking banger, Tiger One, the title track where he just kind of, victoriously shouts, Victoria. And there's a great bass line in that fucking song. So much good shit packed into this one album. I love like the minimalist style of the artwork too, just the face and the album title, no band name. Released by Century Media Records. Just another fantastic full length to add to Marduk's discography. I mean, these Swedes know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long ass time. They're still coming at it hard. They're still putting out fucking quality material. So I don't think I have to tell you anything else about Marduk. If you haven't heard Victoria and you like Marduk, why? I mean, and then number 21 to close out the bottom half of this list, Funeral Mist with Hike Tomb. I had to put this album side by side with Marduk, both Swedish black metal bands, same vocalist, similar styles, but I definitely liked this album a little bit more. I really don't think there's a bad song on here, but, you know, to name a few: In Nomine Domini, Naught But Death, Cockatrice, Metamorphosis, Pallor Mortis. There's a lot of great, like, creepy kind of samples going on in here. It really adds like a kind of eerie effect to the whole album. And shit, this might be my favorite Funeral Mist album. I mean, it's still pretty fresh. Who knows if it'll stand the test of time against, you know, their previous full-length albums, but I fucking love this album, and I love how it was released, just kind of out of nowhere. No pre-orders, no bullshit, no colored vinyl, no bundles. It was like, hey, Funeral Mist album coming up in a couple weeks, go fucking buy that shit. And I did, and it's fucking incredible. I love this shit. Funeral Mist from Sweden with Hike Tomb. So that's going to be it for numbers 30 to 21. The next video will be for albums 20 to 11. So we're getting into the heart of my top 40. As always, thank you for tuning into my channel, watching these videos, liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that cool shit. So until the next time, take care.